This is Jay Sekulow breaking news. Israel and Hamas reach a deal to release 50 hostages from Gaza.
Keeping you informed and engaged, now more than ever. This is Sekulow. We want to hear from you. Share and post your comments or call 1-800-684-3110. And now your host, Jay Sekulow.
Hey, welcome to the broadcast, everyone. We've got, it is breaking news, and it's developing quickly, and it also is subject to a lot of change. The breaking news, of course, is that an agreement has been reached, brokered by the Qatari government, between Hamas and Israel for a 5-day pause of military action for that 5-day period, and the release of 10 hostages a day during that period. So it would be 50 hostages. Those hostages have been, the targeted group of hostages to be released are women, children, and the elderly, and they'll come over a multi-day period. The Qataris are handling some of the transfer of the individuals. The International Red Cross is being allowed. Now, of course, you're dealing with Hamas, so it could change in a minute because this is a terrorist organization, to visit the remaining hostages. The Hamas is indicating that they don't have control over all of the hostages. The reports are that there were somewhere between 236 and 243 hostages. I think expectations need to be made that that number could be significantly lower of actual hostages in custody, Logan, that number could well be in the 130 or 140 range.
Well, I think that would be disappointing, obviously, to say the least, but not 100% surprising. I think there was obviously a lot of hope going into this. There still is a lot of hope going into this of who could be still alive or still in being kept in somewhat decent shape. We're going to find out more, though, hopefully very soon.
Well, tomorrow morning, 3 o'clock this morning is when it, our time is, or 10 o'clock this morning, our time is when tomorrow it will go into effect. So literally less than 24 hours. And like I said, I think you're going to see a release of initial amount of hostages. I think you're going to find that accounting for the hostages that are remaining is going to be a difficult process. Hamas is going to blame Palestinian Islamic Jihad. That is another terrorist organization. There are 3 or 4 of these groups that are operating there, and they don't coordinate with each other necessarily. So this is going to be the great, concern and disappointment. We have filed, just so our audience knows, our ACLJ members know, 6 additional claims at the United Nations. CC Howell told me this morning those claims have been accepted. So that process is going forward as well, which also helps in the identification of who's actually a hostage. So many of the families you met we're going to find out if their family members are alive.
Yeah, I think that will be an important time. Also, could be a game-changing moment for the war in general. And it says that Prime Minister Netanyahu is going to speak just this afternoon in just a few hours.
Yes, and I will tell you that we've done these before. We've done hostage negotiations before. We've worked a lot of transactions and negotiations in the Middle East. These are very complex. I always say you have to be thinking 9-dimensionally. I'm going to get into what that means in the next segment of the broadcast, but I'll give you more detail of what's going to happen. If they get 50 or 100 out, that would be great, I think, at this point. Now, the concern is people are saying for that the Israelis have to give up 3 Palestinian prisoners. So for the 50, you'd have to give up 150. And some are saying, well, that's not a fair exchange, and these people are going to go right back to the battlefield and engage in the war. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. Okay, there's going to be no battlefield to go back and engage to. 50% of the buildings in Gaza, in northern Gaza, are already pretty much destroyed. Hamas will be eliminated. This is not going to stop the elimination of Hamas as a threat in the Middle East. They're done. It may take 3 months, it may take 6 months, it may take a year, but it's over. So they could go back to the battlefield for 90 days, but they're not going back to the battlefield for the next 10 years, which is what this plan took.
And there's comments coming in. The one on Rumble just said, I'm in tears with happiness for those 50, but now I'm sadder and more worried for those that are left behind.
And when we come back from the break, I'm going to get into what all that means and how to specifically pray for this. We encourage you to support the work of the ACLJ. We're in our Faith and Freedom Drive. In a major breakthrough, obviously the deal's been at least for the first 50, but we've got to keep up international pressure to ensure all hostages are released. I was on a conference call this morning, a Zoom call with our offices in Strasbourg, with lawyers in Israel, former heads of various departments. So there's going to be a full effort going on in Europe at the same time, because that is a concern. It's leaving some of these behind. These are our clients, and we're not going to leave them behind. Your support of the ACLJ is critical. Your donations will be doubled. ACLJ.org/faith and freedom. Back with more in a moment.
This is the time of year when we give thanks for all the blessings in our lives, our family, our health. But what about our more profound blessings that we as Americans are privileged to enjoy?
Our faith, our freedom, unique liberties that so many people around the world can only dream about.
Freedom to worship, freedom to speak. They're fragile freedoms that must be vigorously defended.
And we've witnessed the attacks on faith and freedom on a global scale.
It's time to take a bold step.
To join us in the fight.
To join us in upholding the Constitution and to defend the freedoms you hold most dear for your family,
for our country, and for the world.
Go to ACLJ.org to support our faith and freedom drive.
This time of years, we're giving thanks, celebrating our liberties that we have in the United States. We also see those liberties are under attack. Freedom to speak, our freedom of religion. Victories that we have won over decades are being refought again in courts and in the halls of Congress, in international institutions. We're seeing, of course, the conflicts raging around the world, not just in Ukraine, but now in the Middle East and our ally, Israel, which is so important to so many of our ACLJ supporters. So our liberties here at home, you know they're under attack. Our friends, our allies around the world are under attack as well. That's why this Faith and Freedom Drive is so important for you to donate. Dollar for dollar. You donate, we match. Dollar for dollar, each donation. This is an important time, the most important time, to support the work of the ACLJ.
Welcome back to Sekulow. We are taking your phone calls at 1-800-684-3110. Just really want to keep the discussion going about the ongoing, currently hostage deal that could be happening. They've agreed that it's going to happen.
Well, the Qataris and the Israelis have agreed, and Hamas has agreed and there's a 6-page agreement that the parties have executed as part of this. Now, but again, I need to emphasize, you're dealing with a terrorist organization.
Yeah,
they don't play by contract rules.
People a little hard to understand that you could even have a contract with Hamas.
Look, when you're negotiating with they're the controlling governing entity of the Gaza Strip. I mean,
I think it's hard for us to kind of rack our heads around
I know,
how that works.
But they are the governing power. So they both have a military wing and they've got a political wing, and you're having to deal with it. Now, let's not forget what these people did. Atrocities that you can't even are unspeakable. So negotiating with them, you do it in the best you can, but you don't give them anything. You don't assume good faith. You assume it doesn't happen, but I think they will do the release. It's a 4-day pause now, they're saying, with 10 or 12 a day, up to 50. And then if for every 10, if they release 10 more, they'll pause it for a day. So this could go on for 2 or 3 weeks if they were to release all the hostages. All the hostages needs to be understood, though, I think, and I want to say this for our audience. The reports were 236 to 243. Those are the official numbers of hostages. Hamas has already said they don't have control of all of those hostages. What that means is Palestinian Islamic Jihad has some, which they don't control. They'll try to gather them, they say. But also, and I think we got to be clear here, I think you're going to find out that a lot of hostages are not alive, that the number is not correct because of the nature of the conflict. And I will tell you that, remember what they did to these people, and that's evidence of war crimes. And they may try to destroy that evidence, to be blunt.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's horrible to say, but
Should we go ahead? Let's take a phone call. Let's
Sure.
go to Bill, who's calling in Wyoming on line 1. Bill, you're on the air, and if you want to get on the air, 1-800-684-3110. As we head into this Thanksgiving weekend, it's always important to know what's happening on around the world and in the country as well. Bill, you're on the air.
Yeah, with the season coming up, happy Thanksgiving anyway. I just think that there's not going to be a two-state solution simply because of the fact that I believe what's going to happen is that this is going to make Hamas worse if they have their own state. Plus the fact that right now I believe that they think they got mastery over it because they got Israel to stand down.
You're right. So there's a couple of things going on there. Number one, there's not the two-state solution idea is moot. It's academic. There's no way you're going to have a separate governing entity for any foreseeable future. As to Hamas, 70% of the people in Gaza and the West Bank would vote for Hamas as their government right now if that vote was taken today. So there is no way that Israel can allow Hamas to operate. Hamas has to be utterly and totally destroyed, down to the last Hamas member. There has to be nothing left of Hamas. So I don't think there is a two-state solution in the future, or certainly in the near term. They haven't been able to do it in 60 years. I don't think they're going to do it in my lifetime. There have been times when there's been peace in the region, but this is not one of them. And when you have a situation like this, there's under no circumstances can you allow Hamas to take the leadership. Period. That's not even an option. That's why some of the European countries calling now for can we take this temporary pause and turn it into a ceasefire is ridiculous. Let's say they released all the hostages. You still have to destroy Hamas because they'll do this again and again and again. And then Hezbollah from the north will start doing it. And if you think Hamas is bad, Hezbollah has 100 times the power that Hamas has, and they're all controlled by Iran. They're all proxies of Iran, every single one of them, Logan.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a comment that came in from Rumble, and I think this is a fear that a lot of people have. It says, "My fear is the world and this country will turn against Israel more than they are now after Hamas releases the hostages." So is that kind of the last bit of heart that some people may have? The evil voices that seem to be so much louder than those supporting eliminating Hamas completely.
Look, we don't have to talk much more about the anti-Semitism than we already have. It's horrific. Israel's already lost support, and let's be honest. As the war got longer, it's now day 40, was it 47? These don't do well for Israel when they get this long. Israel has no choice. I want to be clear here. This is no different than the United States being attacked on 9/11, except the numbers are worse proportionately than what happened to the United States, and we declared war. Now here we have a really defined enemy in this one though for the Israelis, and that is Hamas. Hamas did this. They bragged about it. They're glad they did it. They trained to do it. They trained for 2 years, by the way. So this did not happen overnight. This was a 2-year process of them training, and maybe longer than that. And they used very rudimentary ways to communicate. They used landlines. They didn't use cell phones. They trained the paragliders to go under the radar while the rockets were going overhead. So this was well coordinated. And Israel had a huge intelligence failure. Let's be clear about that, too. It's just the truth. I want to see the hostages released. We represent them. I don't think it's, get rid of Hamas, the hostage, which is a priority. I think it's 1 and 1A. I mean, I think they're one and the same. Israel does not want to leave anybody on the battlefield. At the same time, Hamas has to be eliminated. This is not an option. And as Bill was talking about this, Logan, this idea of a two-state solution, which I guess I could define for people, is just not reality right now.
Yeah, people here have been hearing that for decades, and they probably don't know. They know what it means, but what it could look like now. And honestly, during a time of President Trump, there may have been a pathway to that because things were very quiet.
Yeah. So a two-state solution means you have an autonomous Jewish state of Israel, and you have a Palestinian state, state of Palestine, that would be basically the West Bank and Gaza. And that would be controlled by the Palestinian Authority, who unfortunately cannot control anything.
Yeah, the reason that hasn't happened also is really a fight over Jerusalem.
Correct. And the aspect of who controls Jerusalem. They talked about making it an international city. Yeah. That did not work. Israel is not giving Vatican up Jerusalem. City kind of but yeah, exactly. Yeah. And a country within a country, like Rome is, the Vatican's a separate entity. That's not going to happen. Israel's not giving it up. And I think that what the Hamas attack showed, if there was any chance of a reconciliation between the parties, that's not going to happen. You cannot partner with ISIS. You cannot partner with Hamas. You cannot partner with Hezbollah. You cannot partner with Iran unless you're Russia and China.
Especially when a large chunk of your economy is tourist.
Yeah,
and that's the
thing. When we've been over there and you were there, even for your bar mitzvah, remember how calm it was.
Yeah.
You go into the Palestinian territories, no problem, because the economy was great. Yeah. Everybody was making money. Yeah. That's not the case anymore. In fact, you have 400,000 military called up on reserve. You understand what that does to the economy of Israel? That's restaurants that don't have employees or customers. I mean, it's a huge, huge number of people. So I think that's where you got to realize the impact on all of this is so very significant. This was not anticipated. I did not think 2 months ago that in November of 2023, this is what we would be talking about. The greatest threat to the Middle East, certainly since the War of Independence in 1948, but I would put it back in biblical times.
Yeah, certainly in our lifetime, I'd say for sure. All right, we're going to continue on. We're going to take some more calls at 1-800-684-3110. We appreciate everyone calling in. again, as you head into this Thanksgiving weekend. Don't want to lose sight of that. We also have a new project coming out tomorrow, Jingle Smells, our new feature film. It is available right now to order on Rumble exclusively. It is a great family movie, but also hits a lot of the messages important here to the ACLJ. But also, we were going to be hosting Hannity, the Sean Hannity radio show today. Yep, so make sure you tune into that.
We get about an hour break.
Yeah, we'll have about an hour break. They'll come in. We'll do 3 hours nonstop on the Sean Hannity radio show today. So make sure you tune in to that. We're going to have some great guests on for the movie. I've been talking about a lot of these issues. Let's go ahead and go to Joe, who's calling in Florida on line 1. Joe, you're on the air.
Thank you for taking my call,
Sure.
Jay.
Sure.
Wow, the blood of these hostages is on the hands of Hamas. And I believe that negotiation and exchanges will prolong this. And if they've got 250, this sounds very harsh, but the blood of those hostages is on the hands of the Hamas terrorists, and they should prosecute this war. And collateral damage, is that a harsh word? But I just get infuriated when I see what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, wars are really bad. I don't think it's 1 and 1A. I think it's 1 and 1A rather. I don't think it's do the war or do the hostages. I think they both can be done simultaneously. This is not Entebbe, though, which is where you go in and you raid an airport because all the hostages are in one location. So they've got to prosecute the war. If there's a way to get some of these hostages out, we should do that. I think, look, for Israel's emotional psyche, this is very important. This is where, Joe, let me disagree with you a little bit. There's an emotional element to this for the people of Israel. They don't want these hostages left behind, and they don't want these hostages dead. So you have to understand the emotional impact that has on a country and on a people group. This is viewed by the Israelis as another Holocaust. And this time there's a Jewish state. So the Jewish state idea is to save the Jewish lives, which is both destroy Hamas and get the hostages out. They're not mutually exclusive. I do want to thank you and encourage you to keep listening and share this with your friends on the feeds you're doing. If you've got questions, call us at 800-684-3110, 1-800-684-3110. You can also get your comments in on Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube, and we'll take some of those when we come back from break. Don't forget to support the work of the ACLJ. We're in our Faith and Freedom Drive. Any amount you donate is doubled, so it's great for us at the ACLJ. If you can make that a monthly gift, you become an ACLJ champion, and that also is a significant move for the American Center for Law and Justice. So I encourage you to do that at aclj.org. Whether it's teams handling the hostage situation, we've got teams in Europe and in Washington working on this right now. Whether it's making sure candidates are on ballots and your vote counts, we're working on that as well. From the district court to the Supreme Court of the United States. aclj.org. Back with more in a moment.
Logan, thank you so much for letting me be a part of Jingle Smells. I thought I was done with the movie business. You told me about this great idea. It's a fun family movie for Christmas.
Yeah, it's hilarious and heartwarming, Sean. We're so thrilled to have you on board as an executive producer along with me. And it is a blast of a movie. It is so fun to watch with your whole family. It's hilarious. It's also very heartwarming.
You know what? We're kind of taking on wokeness.
Absolutely. And that is one of the things when we made this movie. We crafted it for everyone to enjoy. But you will get a really good message. Your kids are going to get a good message. We can really go back now and help change the entertainment industry, which is just as important to create the future of America.
I hope this maybe is the first of many projects to come. This is just a fun family Christmas movie that everybody in the family can watch. And I'll let you tell everyone how they can watch it.
It's really expensive right now to go out to the movies, take your family out. And what we did is say, no, we're not going to do that. We're offering it at a cost that's lower than one ticket. Right now, it is $19.99. It's coming on Thanksgiving Day. We're premiering exclusively on Rumble. I believe Jingle Smells is going to be the #1 Christmas comedy this year.
I can't wait for it. Jingle Smells, everybody. Don't miss it.
You know, it's very hard to find a place that even comes close to being worthy of your beauty.
It's romantic.
It's about you and me alone.
Wow, look at the two of you.
Merry Christmas, America. Hollywood has canceled Mason Stone.
Stone will be digitally replaced by AI.
Boycott Stone!
We will no longer be manufacturing Mason Stone characters.
Get them all out of here by Christmas Eve.
You gotta be kidding me.
How'd you get it? Oh, fell off the truck.
There was a truck involved.
The mysterious gift giver has struck again.
If you get busted with those toys, you're done. And you made me an accessory.
Well, you know what they say. Some accessories are required.
Am I smiling?
No.
Jingle smells, stinking all the way.
They called me Jingle Smells.
Yeah, I know.
Sekulow. We, again, are going to take some of your phone calls, 1-800-684-3110. If you just saw it in the break, we are promoting our brand new feature film. That's right. We're trying to give you a little bit of a break, but also you'll get your mind in some good messages that are free from the agenda being pushed from Hollywood. Instead, you're going to have messages that you hear about on this broadcast, whether that's something like supporting our military, whether that's standing up to cancel culture, and so much more that is kind of infused into the DNA of this new film, Jingle Smells. And by the title, you know it's a Christmas comedy. It is available tomorrow on Rumble. So that is at rumble.com/Jingle Smells. You can go ahead and order it now, and it will unlock very soon. And maybe we'll have a big surprise to announce later on the Hannity broadcast. But again, that is at rumble.com/Jingle Smells, or go to jinglesmells.movie, where you can pre-order the film right now, and it'll be available again very soon, starring people like John Schneider, SNL's Victoria Jackson, and Jim Brewer. You've got Ben Davies, who you know either from The Daily Wire, you know him from Courageous and War Room, and a lot of those Christian movies, and he does a great job, as well as a whole big cast. But mainly,
you got two SNL alums.
Yeah,
in
two
this.
SNL alums, Victoria and Jim. We got Academy Award nominees in this. Mainly, though, what we're trying to do is carve a new space for entertainment that can really help you and your family. The big game-changing moments really for culture, a lot of it comes out of the seed of entertainment, because you'll finally be able to see something, and you're going to see characters who believe in what you believe and are not shown to be the villain or the bad guy. These are your heroes. So that's important to us, is to tell these kind of stories, unique stories. And again, it's available right now to order on jinglesmells.movie, or if you're watching on Rumble, it is exclusively premiering on Rumble at rumble.com/jinglesmells, or just type it in. It's right there. It's $19.99. We decided to do that intentionally. I know that we'll play a clip in a minute that I did with Sean Hannity, who's
in the movie.
Who's in the movie. We're all in the movie a little bit, but Sean is executive producer with me on this movie. I co-wrote this movie. It is a great movie. I'm very proud of it, and I've seen it hundreds of times at this point.
Literally.
To the point where you'd think your eyes would start spinning, but I've seen it so many times, and I really believe it is an important time to influence culture, and we can do that, Dad, not just through the law, not just through news media, but I think it's important, and I really do believe it's important to make this movie the #1 Christmas movie this year, and we can do that with your support. We can do that with your help, because this is a movie. I know a lot of people have said, you'll hear Sean Hannity say something like, it's standing up to wokeness, and what about the movies we grew up with? They didn't feel like that. Right, they didn't. But now everything you get is being pushed some kind of Hollywood agenda that you're probably not supportive of. It's in every form of your kids' media. It's in every form of media. We're able to provide that and give you a bit more. Maybe it is a bit of a throwback to the 80s, to the 90s, where the Christmas movies were fun, were uproarious, were comedy, but also had a lot of heart. It's got a great Christian message as well.
It does have a great faith message, Christian message. It also tackles a big issue, which is the cancel culture for conservatives. And so you deal with the military situation, too, with the military. I mean, I don't want to give away the whole thing, but it really is it's a heartwarming movie. It's funny and serious and hysterical, and it has a message.
That's right. We try to give you that big Christmas feeling, and I really think we accomplished it.
And it has that big Christmas feel to it.
Yeah, I think so. Again, it's what the story is. I'm happy to do it. And then we'll play we have the Hannity and the trailer. We'll play that back to back here in a second. But I think what's important for people to know is the storyline. I mean, it's not very far fetched. It is satirical in nature. So a big Hollywood celebrity gets canceled, action star gets canceled for saying "God bless America, may He protect our troops" while he's on a hunting trip. Sounds ridiculous, but go look at some of the stuff that's happened to people recently. All of his toys, because he's the big superhero, all the toys get pulled from the shelves. Those toys get put in a warehouse to be destroyed. A group of garbage men, as we say, get hired to destroy these toys right before Christmas. And what do? Well, you can kind of take it from there and imagine. Of course, these are also men that have come back from fighting in Afghanistan. So they fought in Afghanistan, are heroes. They see these toys being destroyed. And our main character, who's played by Ben Davies, Nick, he decides he's not going to stand for it. And kind of a fun, we said Santa Robin Hood kind of story unfolds. And it's really great. And let's go take a look at, we're going to play the Hannity bit first. So there's a bit from Sean Hannity and I. We'll hear us talking, and then it'll lead into.
And we are hosting Hannity today.
And we're hosting Hannity today. It'll lead into the official trailer. Order it right now.
Logan, thank you so much for letting me be a part of Jingle Smells. I thought I was done with the movie business. You told me about this great idea. It's a fun family movie for Christmas.
Yeah, it's hilarious and heartwarming, Sean. And we're so thrilled to have you on board as an executive producer along with me. And it is a blast of a movie. It is so fun to watch with your whole family. It's hilarious. It's also very heartwarming.
Funny. You know what? We're kind of taking on wokeness.
Absolutely. And that is one of the things when we made this movie, we crafted it for everyone to enjoy. But you will get a really good message. Your kids are going to get a good message. We can really go back now and help change the entertainment industry, which is just as important to create the future of America. It's really expensive right now to go out to the movies, take your family out. And what we did is say, no, we're not going to do that. We're offering at a cost that's lower than one ticket right now. It is $19.99. It's coming on Thanksgiving Day. We're premiering exclusively on Rumble. I believe Jingle Smells is going to be the #1 Christmas comedy this year.
I can't wait for it. Jingle Smells, everybody. Don't miss it.
You know, it's very hard to find a place that even comes close to being worthy of your beauty.
It's romantic.
It's about you and me alone.
Wow, look at the two of you.
Merry Christmas, America. Hollywood has canceled Mason Stone.
Stone will be digitally replaced by AI.
Boycott Stone!
We will no longer be manufacturing Mason Stone characters.
Get them all out of here by Christmas Eve.
You gotta be kidding me. How'd you get it? Oh, fell off the truck.
There was a truck involved.
The mysterious gift giver has struck again.
If you get busted with those toys, you're done. And you made me an accessory.
Well, you know what they say. Some accessories are required.
Am I smiling?
No.
Jingle smells, stinking all the way.
They called me Jingle Smells.
Yeah, I know.
That's right. You can order it right now. It is available on Rumble. We decided to partner with them. It's the first feature film they've ever released. So it's exciting to be part of that early on here with them. They're excited. We're all pumped.
Tell people how to do it, Logan. What to order?
Easy.
What do you need to do?
If you're on Rumble, just type in Jingle Smells. You'll see it's the first thing. You'll see pay-per-view. You can buy it right now. Also, once you purchase it, you can watch it as many times as you want. So you can watch it kind of from here into eternity. As long as there's a Rumble and you have a Rumble account and you've made that purchase, it'll be available there. Again, it's at rumble.com/Jingle Smells. If you're looking for an easier way to just get there, if you're not on Rumble, jinglesmells.movie is the domain. Or there's a QR code that's up on the screen right now. Pull out your phone, scan it, and you're good to go.
So, and getting it to your TV is easy. You've done a video for that.
The easiest way to say is the Rumble app is available on almost all smart TVs and smart devices. So download the Rumble app, log into your account. It's right there. It's very easy. It's very easy, just like a Netflix or anywhere else.
Jinglesmells.movie. Listen, folks, we back this movie. It's an ACLJ film because of the message, but also the hope and the humor. And we need some of that right now very, very much. So Logan and I will be hosting Sean Hannity's broadcast. You're going to have some of the cast will be coming on the broadcast.
That's right. Make sure you tune in because you're going to hear John Schneider, you're going to hear Ben Davies, our lead, and Victoria Jackson, except from SNL, who are all three incredible in this movie and all uniquely hilarious and tell great stories. And, of course, Victoria is always a lot of fun. But we're going to have all three of them on Hannity today on the Sean Hannity radio show. Make sure you tune in. Again, we'll be hosting as well. That is going to be on all your, you know where to find Hannity. You can find it for broadcasting there. Maybe we're going to have a big surprise there. So I will say this. Pre-order now. Not going to say anything more.
Because it'll be a big surprise?
Pre-order now, because maybe we'll have a big surprise to announce a little bit later on Hannity.
All right, so so let's be clear.
Yep.
Pre-order. We want you to pre-order this, folks. It's going to help. By the way, this helps the ACLJ, too.
Of course.
Revenue.
Yeah, of course. A big portion of the ACLJ film goes back to helping the organization. So we appreciate that. All the support, and this can continue to grow, and we'll do more and more films and impact entertainment.
They go to Jinglesmells.movie.
Jinglesmells.movie. Pre-order right now. Big surprise coming very soon.
Logan, thank you so much for letting me be a part of Jingle Smells. I thought I was done with the movie business. You told me about this great idea. It's a fun family movie for Christmas.
Yeah, it's hilarious and heartwarming, Sean. And we're so thrilled to have you on board as an executive producer along with me. And it is a blast of a movie. It is so fun to watch with your whole family. It's hilarious. It's also very heartwarming.
Funny. You know what? We're kind of taking on wokeness.
Absolutely. And that is one of the things when we made this movie, we crafted it for everyone to enjoy. But you will get a really good message. Your kids are going to get a good message. We can really go back now and help change the entertainment industry, which is just as important to create the future of America. It's really expensive right now to go out to the movies, take your family out. And what we did is say, no, we're not going to do that. We're offering at a cost that's lower than one ticket. Right now, it is $19.99. It's coming on Thanksgiving Day. We're premiering exclusively on Rumble. I believe Jingle Smells is going to be the #1 Christmas comedy this year.
I can't wait for it. Jingle Smells, everybody. Don't miss it.
Keeping you informed and engaged. Now more than ever. This is Sekulow. And now your host, Jay Sekulow.
Hey, everybody, I'm getting some news I need everybody to check right now. Literally, we'll look back to the broadcast, and that is a list of the hostages that are being released has been sent out by Qatar, like in the last 30 seconds. And it appears that one of our clients and their 3 children are on that list, but I want to make sure. So if we could check that out. Welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. It is a moving situation, Logan. There is, as most people now know, that there's been an interim agreement between brokered by Qatar. Qatar brokered it between the Israelis and Hamas, which will have the release of about 50 of the hostages from Israel and about 150 Palestinians that are in jail, women and children that are in jail. And they say children, by the way, they're talking about 16, 17-year-olds there. We're talking about, newborns and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds that Hamas has got. The complication in all of this, of course, is that the reality is we think there's somewhere between 236 and 243 hostages. As things are now developing and as Hamas is having to kind of account for the situation, it does not look like there's going to be that many. There may be significantly less, and that's because either people were killed or were killed before or were killed in captivity. We don't know. We are getting a report that one of our clients, well, actually 3, a mother and 3 are on it. Cece Heil just sent that to me. So, Will, if you could get our people to contact her as well to see where she got that from. The list, the Red Cross will be going in to evaluate the other hostages. At the same time, you have to understand that some of these hostages are also in the custody of groups like Palestinian Islamic Jihad. You're dealing with hostages, and you're dealing with Hamas, and you're dealing with a terrorist group. And when you're dealing with a terrorist group like Hamas, the end result of that is you have no idea if they will fulfill this mission or not. They're not trustworthy. But I think giving it a try is not a bad thing. Let's go ahead and take Rachel's call. She's on line 3, and we'll take your calls and comments at 1-800-684-3110. Rachel, go ahead. You're on the air.
Thank you. I'm disturbed about as you said, that there are more than terrorist organizations in Gaza, but there are also the terrorist organizations in the West Bank. CBN actually did an interview with a number of the residents in those in Ramallah and Jenin, and they came out with so much support for what Hamas did. And you see these people, even in the United States and other Western countries, who are supporting Hamas. So this does not end with that. This is not the end. I mean, and to have the Palestinian Authority with Abbas saying that it was an Israeli stunt is not just
He's
wrong.
not a partner that can ever be trusted. That's why I think this whole idea of a 2-state solution or the Palestinian Authority, operating Gaza is ridiculous. Because you're right. You're exactly right, Rachel. It's absolutely positively ridiculous. I've got in my hands the list of the individuals that are prepared to be released. This is the potential list. I don't have the number. It looks like it's 50. It's provided by the Israeli Prime Minister's office. I'm trying to verify right now. Do we have a verification yet? We do. So, and who is that? We have
it's in the chat there. Right
okay.
There.
Well. Okay. So here's what we've got. Uriah Brodetz, age 4, his brother Yuval, age 8, his sister Efri, age 10, and their mother Hagar are all going to be released. So we had just filed at the UN on them, I believe, yesterday. So good news for one of our clients that they are planned to be released. Now, in what order they come out, we don't know. I am looking at the list. It is children. Is this an example, Logan? Eitan Yahami will be released, 12 years old. His father, Ohad, was shot, wounded, and kidnapped. So we're assuming he's still alive. We have other clients in the same situation. The men are not being released. I can tell you that looking at the list.
And a lot of young children.
Yeah, a lot of young children, I'd say, 3 to 16, and mothers, and some elderly.
All right, we'll keep this
I'm
going.
gonna go through this.
We're going to go through this during the break, so stay tuned. Keep watching. We're also doing a 3-hour Hannity broadcast today. Sean Hannity's radio show, if you don't get that, is from 3 to 6 Eastern Time, all around the nation or on Hannity.com. We'll be right back. We're going to analyze this and get right back with you.
What does it mean to be an ACLJ champion?
Becoming an ACLJ champion means joining us in the fight for liberty, in the fight for law, in the fight for peace, in the fight for freedom.
The battles being fought in courtrooms right now will decide what kind of future our kids will have tomorrow.
So when you join as an ACLJ champion, we now actually have a baseline to know what we can possibly accomplish. And look, the dream is vast.
Being a champion means that you get to come alongside churches who are being zoned out of properties, who are being forced to obtain liquor licenses simply to operate, coming alongside students who are being told they can't read their Bible in school or even bring it.
Becoming an ACLJ champion allows us to take on more cases internationally in places where Christian persecution is happening on a daily basis. The need for the defense of these Christians is overwhelming, and we can't do it without you.
Becoming an ACLJ champion means getting into a fight with deep state elites who are attacking our school children, who are attacking pro-life Christians.
We have lawyers right now winning in courtrooms across the world, but none of it would matter without the ACLJ champions. Simply put, we don't win unless ACLJ champions continue to step up.
We can't do what we do without you.
By becoming a monthly donor, you can become a champion of life.
A champion of liberty, a champion of freedom.
Please join us.
Please join us.
Please join us. Become an ACLJ champion today.
Breaking news, the list of potential hostages has been released, has been provided to us by the Israeli Prime Minister's office, and on that list is one of our clients with her 3 children. When I've looked at the list, here's what the thing that jumps out at me the most on this list, and Rick Rennell's here, is you have children being released 13 and 14 years old, but the Israeli government are notifying, for instance, and let me give you a for instance. Tal Goldstein, age 9, is being released, Rick. His brother Gal is being released, age 11. Sister Agam, 17. The mother's being released, but the father, Nadav, and the older sister, Yam, were murdered in the massacre. In another situation, either the father's being kept in captivity or the father and mother were killed. So you've got a lot of kids coming back to being raised by family members that probably don't even know that yet, that their parents are dead.
Look, let's give some context here. We've got over 200 hostages. 50 have been released. That means 150 are still in captivity by a terrorist organization, Hamas. And our U.S. government has been pressuring Israel to negotiate with these terrorists. Israel has had to go into its prison system to find 150 Palestinians to release. Now think about that, 150 convicts for 50 innocents. This is the deal that Hamas is demanding and that the Biden administration is pushing the Israelis to do. I just want to say, Jay, we are very happy to have individuals come home. But the rest of these people who are still hostages now have a greater bounty on their head. This is not good for the rest of us. This makes all of us unsafe because we're dealing with Hamas and they now are going to negotiate up. We would never do this. We shouldn't be asking the Israeli government to do it.
Rick, I'm looking at the list. I'm like you. I'm glad that one of our clients is on the list with her 3 children. I do agree also that most of our clients are being held back because most of them, frankly, are age 22 to 26 males and are in military reserves or were in the military, and they're going to use that as a justification. It makes it very, very complicated. I want to change gears here for a moment, but Rick has been very helpful with this, with us on this. And this is, Rick, the last thing I'll say about this is, when you're dealing with these things, it's like playing 9-dimensional chess. So many things can happen. This is the approved list of who's going to be released. Who knows if Hamas is going to do it? Who knows if these people are, who knows if there's 243 hostages? I'm getting word that there's significantly less because they're either with Palestinian Islamic Jihad or not alive. So you got to think 9-dimensionally, and we're doing that here, and I appreciate all of your help on this as well and with your expertise. Logan?
Yeah, Rick, I wanted to actually shift gears a little bit. We have a new feature film coming out. It's a Christmas comedy, but it's kind of packed with a lot of messages that come from us. And we've seen what's happening on college campuses. We've seen what's happening on the streets of New York and some of these big cities in terms of whether that's for anti-Semitism or whether that's just anti-conservative or you'd say, sort of the extreme woke system that's sort of come over the last few years. And you're in California. You've been a big supporter of what's happening in Southern California. You've been part of the entertainment industry before. I believe it's very important for us to get involved in this because impacting culture has such a long-term effect when you can actually get in there and be a part of what's happening. So much of culture gets shifted by the first things a lot of people see, whether that's in our kids' products or whether that's what we're doing right now, which is this, big Christmas comedy, again, packed with some messages that are right out of the ACLJ's handbook, if you will. But it's important to not just be playing in the political space and to be playing in the legal space. We can see that pretty clearly.
Look, I'm so proud to be a part of ACLJ, and I know, Logan, these types of issues are very dear to your heart. But here's why. We all know that TikTok is incredibly powerful with our kids and with the culture. And if we announced that we were going to have a political debate, we'd have a whole bunch of people never tune in and they would never hear messages. But when you do entertainment, when you push messages on social media, when you're trying to play the cultural game like what we are able to do with this movie, you really begin to reach audiences that are totally turned off by politics, but they see important messages because while this is a funny movie, this is also something that has a very serious, important message that people will be able to see very clearly. So it's an exciting time because what we're trying to do at ACLJ is reach the masses, and you've got to have different tools in the tool belt in order to do that.
One of the issues that are addressed in the movie is kind of the theme of what happens here is the star of this cancel culture, and he basically is the
movie within the movie. A movie star within the movie gets canceled. One of the main characters because he says it's satirically done, but because he goes on his own social media and has a "God bless America, may He protect our troops" kind of message, and that alone sets fire to obviously the incredibly far left liberal. Activist, social media activist.
Yes, but that's actually reality.
It's reality. It's played by Victoria Jackson from SNL. She does a great job. She gets to play that activist. But yes, we're able to weave that message in.
Yeah. So, Rick, the movie addresses issues that are real, and it's okay to laugh because that's good for the soul. But these are real issues. I mean, cancel culture is a huge thing. For instance, I did some college campuses 2 or 3 years ago when I was representing the former president. You couldn't get me on a college campus. Forget it. I mean, there's no way. We get invitations all the time. Why would you subject yourself to this stuff? So the cancel culture is real.
Look, I think that this is a perfect opportunity while we're going into the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, for people who are listening, who are politically active, who love supporting ACLJ, download the movie. Get the movie and just put it on when your kids are home from college, when you have family over, because it's an entertaining movie. It doesn't seem like it's politics, but it will absolutely teach people about cancel culture.
Absolutely. It's one of those things we decided we put together, and it's safe for I struggle with the words family friendly. It is, obviously, it's not profane. There's no language in it, anything like that, but it's not a kid's movie, if you will. This is a movie you can watch with everyone, and really enjoy it. Like I said, sort of like those big Christmas comedies we all grew up with. So yeah, get everybody tomorrow. After Thanksgiving dinner, something to do. You'll have Jingle Smells ready to load up on demand, available, premiering on Rumble. Premiering on Rumble tomorrow. And here's what I'm going to say, and I've said it a few times today. What I would encourage you to do is order it today, and maybe there'll be a surprise for you. So take, just keep watching our social media. Tune in later on Hannity, because maybe there'll be a surprise for you if you go ahead and order it today. So order today at jinglesmells.movie or on Rumble. Just search for it. You'll find it right there. Or if you're looking at it right now, you can scan the QR code, pre-order it right now.
You know, Rick, you mentioned something that's interesting, using everything in the toolbox. And, you're right. And that's whether it's, hostage negotiations, affecting the culture through a movie, whatever it might be. And the interesting thing about that is I think that we've been given, by God's grace, a platform in which we can do this. And to utilize this platform is important. But it's countercultural right now. I mean, the positions we take, which you would think, and most Americans support, but these things create firestorms. The whole idea of these individuals marching, for instance, with Hamas, the left-wing groups, left-leaning groups, it's insane. I mean, it numbs your brain. Why would this group march with people that would throw you off a building? Why would this group march with somebody that's raping women? Why would this group march with them when they know what they do to these people? And it is, I think, affecting all of us in a very real way as we end this year, and which makes the job of the ACLJ, I think, that much more important.
Look, I think the answer of why they're doing this is, one, they don't know, and two, they're completely impacted by somebody else telling them that this is, a compassionate thing to do, and if you're compassionate, you're supposed to do this. When you don't know, you just follow. I've seen too many interviews where when people who are asked about the details of Hamas, once they find out the answers because they didn't know the answers, are suddenly shocked, and they're saying, no, I don't support that. So it's about education. It's about taking the time to understand what's going on. And that's why I think this movie is going to be really helpful. It's going to be able to educate people about the cancel culture in a very entertaining way, but in an important way, in a poignant way.
We appreciate it. Thanks, Rick. Have a great Thanksgiving as well.
All the best to you.
That's right. You can do that right now. It's easy. Just go to jinglesmells.movie, pre-order right now. And again, there'll be a surprise for you waiting today, likely. So make sure you tune in. Keep watching.
Likely.
No, it'll happen. It'll happen.
You feeling confident?
I feel confident. By the time we're on Hannity, we'll have a surprise. Hannity today, by the way, we're doing a whole special, not just on what's going on with the movie, but also we'll be talking about all these topics.
Yep.
We're going to have great guests on there. John Schneider, Ben Davies, who's our lead, Victoria Jackson from SNL. You're going to have a huge group of people on today's Hannity broadcast. We're going to be doing that a little bit later. We'll be taking your calls coming up in this next segment, so give us a call, 1-800-684-3110. And we are also, it's Thanksgiving weekend, we are heading towards part of our Faith and Freedom Drive. We're wrapping things up here pretty soon.
We are. We got 8 days left, and we must keep the international pressure on because we got to ensure that all the hostages are free. We've got one of our families is on that list that will be released, but there are many that are not. There will be more to fight for, and we've got to fight aggressively. Support our drive at the ACLJ's Faith and Freedom Drive, and your donations will be doubled at aclj.org.
Logan, thank you so much for letting me be a part of Jingle Smells. I thought I was done with the movie business. You told me about this great idea. It's a fun family movie for Christmas.
Yeah, it's hilarious and heartwarming, Sean. And we're so thrilled to have you on board as an executive producer along with me. And it is a blast of a movie. It is so fun to watch with your whole family. It's hilarious. It's also very heartwarming.
You know what? We're kind of taking on wokeness.
Absolutely. And that is one of the things when we made this movie. We crafted it for everyone to enjoy. But you will get a really good message. Your kids are going to get a good message. We can really go back now and help change the entertainment industry, which is just as important to create the future of America.
I hope this maybe is the first of many projects to come. This is just a fun family Christmas movie that everybody in the family can watch, and I'll let you tell everyone how they can watch it.
It's really expensive right now to go out to the movies, take your family out, and what we did is say, no, we're not going to do that. We're offering it at a cost that's lower than one ticket right now. It is $19.99. It's coming on Thanksgiving Day. We're premiering exclusively on Rumble. I believe Jingle Smells is going to be the #1 Christmas comedy this year.
I can't wait for it. Jingle Smells, everybody. Don't miss it.
You know, it's very hard to find a place that even comes close to being worthy of your beauty.
It's romantic.
It's about you and me alone.
Wow, look at the two of you.
Merry Christmas, America. Hollywood has canceled Mason Stone.
Stone will be digitally replaced by AI.
Boycott Stone!
We will no longer be manufacturing Mason Stone characters.
Get them all out of here by Christmas Eve.
You gotta be kidding me. How'd you get it? Oh, fell off the truck.
There was a truck involved.
The mysterious gift giver has struck again.
You get busted with those toys, you're done. And you made me an accessory.
Well, you know what they say. Some accessories are required.
Am I smiling?
No.
Jingle smells, stinking all the way.
They call me Jingle Smells.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome back. We're going to go straight to the phone calls, doing 1-800-684-3110. Last call to get your voice on the air today. Let's go to Jerry, Pennsylvania, on line 1. Jerry, you're on the air.
Hi, Jerry.
Yeah, Jay, I hate to say this, but I have a feeling that the vast majority of those hostages have already been tortured to death. You know, when they invaded southern Israel, after Hamas came in, thousands of residents from Gaza came in too, and they also killed people and took hostages. So they probably have been brainwashed to hate Jews.
They have. They've been taught.
And they
trained in the
probably
schools.
killed them.
Yeah, so look, I hope you're wrong. I have the same concern you do. Hamas has already now said to the evidently to the International Red Cross and to the Qatari government, said, hey, we don't have custody. We think there are 243 hostages, but we don't have custody of all of them. And Palestinian Islamic Jihad may have some. Others may be dead already. I think the number is going to be significantly lower based on calls I've had this morning and early this afternoon. Having said that, you know, Jerry, here's what we have to do. We got to work like we can get every one of them out. And like I said, one group of 4 of our clients are on the list. That's a mother and her 3 children. But the thing that struck me the most when I looked at the list of the people being released is so many of these kids, ages 3 and 4, 12 and 13, 3-year-old twins, they're coming out and their parents are gone, are dead. So they're going to be raised by, if there's family members there or however it's set up in Israel. I mean, it's just horrific. And that's the reality of what these kids are going to be coming home to. And with regard to the torture, I can't even imagine. I mean, unfathomable. But we had a discussion this morning with our ACLJ team, with a group of lawyers in Israel, with a group of policy experts in the United States, as well as what's the next move in Europe. And it's kind of ebbing and flowing, Logan. I mean, it's, you know, we're planning that we're going to have a big detail. Certainly our European Center for Law and Justice is taking the lead on this, and they will do whatever's necessary. Whether Americans, including me, will go or not is still we're talking about it, and that may just come at the last minute. We just don't know. But what we do know is this. The 50 on the list, let's see if it even happens. This, you're dealing with a terrorist group. You have no idea what they're going to do. You know what they're capable of, which is horrific. Qatar's put a lot on their line here, the country of Qatar. So, you know, they're the ones that house Hamas and let the leadership live there. The idea was they let them stay there and they could keep an eye on them. That didn't work out too well, by the way. But they have brokered this deal. But there's at least 200, if they're alive, around 200 other hostages that are still being held back.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. This is not over here. And we make sure people know this. Yes, there'll be a big announcement here probably in the next couple hours. This is a big deal. It should be celebrated is the wrong word, but the fact that you'll have 50 people going home, that should be celebrated. But it is certainly not the end of this crisis.
200 people. Most of them are. Look, our clients are mostly left behind. We have 4 that are being released according to the list. I'm happy about that, but we've got a lot of work to do.
And those are mainly because it's
3 kids,
3 children, and their mother. Their mother.
That's the only reason they're being released is because it's the 3 kids and the mother.
Yeah.
So many on this list, though. When the Prime Minister's office announced it, is they're releasing 3 of the kids, the mother, but the father they're keeping as a hostage. And some of the elderly are being released, but some of them aren't. So look, Hamas's leverage is the hostages. Let's be clear. That is their leverage. So we are making sure that we're doing everything we can to get our clients, all of them, all the hostages, out of there as quickly as possible.
All right, I think we're going to try to keep going on phones. If you want to give us a call, kind of last chance here, 1-800-684-3110, 1-800-684-3110. We've had a lot of comments come in as well. A lot of you are saying that you're hopeful. A lot of people are concerned. And let's go ahead and go to the calls. Let's go to Annabelle, who's calling California on line 2. You're on the air.
Hi. First, I just want to congratulate you. I'm a champion, and I just I can't say enough. I want to be quick because I'm under cardiologist care, like probably millions of Americans for high blood pressure over what's going on.
I don't want to make your blood pressure worse.
No, I know. You're a godsend. But my office is in Palo Alto, and so I hear things that make your head explode. Well, you hear them too. We all do. And so my question to you is, what I hear is, well, look, it's the least that Israel can do, considering they started the war. They're doing this genocidal attack in Palestine. The least they can do is make some concessions to get the hostages back. It's completely forgotten that they committed war crimes, and they went in and slaughtered people and took everything's upside down now.
No, it's because people are listening to what they want to believe instead of the facts. Here's what happened. Hamas invaded Israel's sovereign territory and butchered over 1,400 people, most of which were civilians. Not all, but the vast majority. And then took somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 hostages, mostly civilians, women and children included. So what all Israel's done is they're agreeing to a 4-day ceasefire, so to speak, or pause, as they call it, in the conflict. So these hostages can be released about 10 or 12 a day for 4 or 5 days, and then we'll see what happens. I suspect it goes back to a conflict, assuming that Hamas even lives up to this. But Qatar's negotiated this. They're the only ones that are directly communicating with them. And, we'll see. Again, it's one of these things where we'll see where it goes. But, no, you're right. And it's gotten upside down, and that's the tragedy of this. So, anyways, we will keep you posted. Logan and I are hosting Sean Hannity's radio broadcast this afternoon in about 2 hours. Am I right, Will? About 2 hours from now, we will be hosting his broadcast. We're going to be talking about these issues, but we're also going to be talking about our new movie.
We're going to be talking about the movie. We're going to have a big announcement on that broadcast, so make sure you tune in. You're not going to miss it. I encourage you to order it now. Maybe it involves that. Maybe a little sneak peek coming for some of y'all. Go ahead, order it now. Go to jinglesmells.movie. Scan the code that's on your screen if you're watching, or if you're on Rumble, just click the link. Head over to Jingle Smells. Make sure you purchase it, and it'll be available tomorrow officially. We'll say that on Thanksgiving Day, so make sure you get that right now. Again, we want this to be the #1 Christmas movie of the year, and we think we can do it. And again, not only do I believe in this movie because I believe this movie is great, I believe the mission of this movie is vastly important. And I believe making a statement, being able to go to Hollywood and say, look at what we're able to do with just a grassroots independent film produced by the ACLJ. What were we able to do with us and Sean Hannity? We were able to get the word out so much it became the #1 Christmas movie of the year. How cool would that be? Be a part of that right now.
Dude, so many people. You've had over probably 500,000 people watch the trailer.
Oh, we've had close to that on just Rumble alone. No, I believe it's probably 800, 900,000 people who have watched the trailer. The movement's happening, folks, and you can be a part of it. And I really think
it is a movement, by the way.
Yes, this is going to impact so much of what's happening, where not only will the messages that get put forward on this broadcast be presented in a new way, we'll be able to not only be able to showcase that to new people who may not be reachable, we are also able to make a statement and say, this is what we want for our entertainment. And I think that that's a big deal right now.
And again, website to get it?
Yep, jinglesmells.movie. If you're watching right now on Rumble, just head on over, type in Jingle Smells, pop right up. You'll see where you can order it.
Yeah, there's thousands of you watching on Rumble right now. I just encourage you to just type in Jingle Smells, and you can order it right there. And like Logan said, there may be a little surprise this afternoon.
Yeah, if we could throw that in the comments, that would be great. If someone's watching one of our monitors, please throw that link in the comments and send people over. That would be excellent. Again, I appreciate it more than you know. We're going to have 3 more hours of broadcast today, so make sure you join us on Hannity today.
We're getting up for it.
3 to 5 live. No, 3 to 6 live, all right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
3 to 6 live on the East Coast. You can work your way back. Find Hannity in your local markets, or just go to Hannity.com.
Also, support the work of the ACLJ and our Faith and Freedom Drive. As you know, we are very involved in the hostage negotiations in that situation. We're also fighting on the election law front and so many other issues for life, faith, and freedom. You go to ACLJ.org. Any amount you donate is doubled. We encourage you to do that. If you can give monthly, become an ACLJ champion, and that literally changes how we operate. ACLJ.org. Join us on Hannity in 2 hours.